Picture this. You're standing in a ring, and literally every single part of your body is a potential weapon. The only thing standing between you and survival is your absolute mastery of an ancient, brutal, and frankly beautiful fighting system. Well, welcome to this explainer on Muay Thai, the evolution of the art of 8 limbs. Today, we're going to unpack the visceral reality of a martial art that was born out of sheer necessity on the battlefields of ancient Siam, and see how it completely transformed into the massive global phenomenon we know today. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by defining the art of 8 limbs, then trace its journey from battlefields to palaces. After that, we'll look at how modern rules and rings changed the game, explore its deep cultural rhythm, and finally, unpack its global expansion.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the art of 8 limbs.
From its very earliest days, Muay Thai was never just a sport. It was a comprehensive survival system, and it all revolves around one absolutely crucial number, 8. This right here is the core premise that sets Thai fighters completely apart from the rest of the world. While other fighting styles focus heavily on just a couple points of contact, Muay Thai is designed around the harmonious and devastating use of 8 specific points on the human body. It's a full contact fighting form that utilizes fists, feet, knees, and elbows to attack and defend. You aren't just throwing punches here. You're swinging the dense bone of your shins like a baseball bat. You're using the sharp, bony point of your elbow to cut. You're launching just raw, unadulterated power from your knees in close quarters. It is incredibly brutal and incredibly efficient. To really put that into perspective, let's quickly juxtapose Western boxing against Muay Thai. The differences are honestly staggering. Western boxing is often called the art of 2 arms, right? It relies strictly on upper body punching. But Muay Thai? It's a completely different beast. Because fists, shins, knees, and elbows are all in play, a Muay Thai fighter just has this vastly larger arsenal. It's like a high-speed, multi-dimensional chess match, where strikes can literally come at you from any angle and at any height. Moving on to Section 2, from battlefields to palaces. To truly understand this art, we've got to go way, way back. The origins trace back to roughly 2560 BCE. Back then, it was formed purely out of necessity, just to defend families against invaders. Fast forward a bit to the 13th century Sukhothai period, and you actually have kings utilizing it as essential hand-to-hand leadership training. Then, by the time we hit the Ayutthaya period under King Naresuan, between 1590 and 1605, it had officially ascended into a formalized military martial art. And that brings us to an absolutely incredible, almost mythical piece of history. General Nai Khanam Thom, who was a captured Thai warrior, famously defeated 10 Burmese boxers simultaneously to win his freedom. The story goes that the local Burmese commander was just so in awe of his fluid hand and knee techniques that he immediately declared Nai Khanam Thom the winner and let him go. It's an amazing human story, and it perfectly anchors the historical significance of Muay Thai. It just shows the unstoppable power of a true master of the 8 limbs. But, the ancient world eventually had to meet the modern one. This meant transitioning from Muay Boran, which was this totally unregulated bare-knuckle combat where lethal injury was just the norm, and there were no timed rounds, into modern Muay Thai. Simply put, to survive as a sport and actually be fit for public consumption, this deadly ancient art had to be tamed. Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, rules, rings, and gloves. So how did they pull off this transformation? Well, in the 1920s, some crucial reforms came in that literally saved the sport. First, they introduced Western-style boxing gloves, which replaced the traditional cloth wraps, drastically cutting down on deadly injuries. Then, things like headbutts and lethal throws onto the neck, totally banned. They also implemented timed 2-minute rounds to give the fight a real rhythm, and they set up distinct weight classes and roped arenas. Now, these early 20th century reforms were actually pretty controversial at the time, but they worked. They succeeded in maintaining the essence of the fight while lowering the injury rate, which ended up creating a booming professional industry. All right, let's explore the soul of the sport in Section 4, culture, rhythm, and training. To really grasp the culture, we need to speak the language of the training. There are 7 fundamental stages of striking. You've got the chuk, which is the straight punch, the sok, that devastating elbow strike, te, the kick, kao, the knee strike, tep, which is a heavy elbow smash, yuk, the uppercut, and finally, plam, the clinch or palm lock. Fighters drill these tirelessly, building from single movements into those famous, absolutely devastating multi-limb combinations. But right at the heart of the sport is the Wai Kru. Before a single punch is ever thrown, boxers perform this traditional pre-bout ritual dance. It's a moment to express this deep-rooted gratitude and dedication to their teachers, their gym, and their ancestors. I think it's so fascinating that despite all the blood, sweat, and visceral violence of the fight itself, there is this profound respect and spirituality that underpins literally everything a Muay Thai fighter does. Another deeply traditional element is the music. Contemporary bouts use the Pai ensemble, specifically featuring a piercing reed oboe, to play this hypnotic music called sarma. This music actually dynamically shifts its tempo, literally dictating the pace and rhythm of the combat as it happens. It is way more than just background noise. This ear-splitting music fights the anxiety of the combatants and locks them entirely into the present moment.
And now, our final phase, Section 5, the global expansion.
The globalization of Muay Thai was just astonishingly rapid. Look at this timeline. In 1981, we had the first global competition in Paris with over 20 nations competing. Fast forward to 1989, and the Muay Thai Foundation staged the first heavily promoted professional event right in Los Angeles. And by 1994, international television and media were blasting these competitions to audiences worldwide. Muay Thai had officially exploded onto the global map. But let me tell you, its introduction to the West wasn't exactly gentle. These scrappy Thai fighters initially shocked and just entirely dominated Western kickboxers. Think about it, Westerners had spent hours upon hours in pristine gyms honing their technique. But the Thais? They had learned their skills by fighting bare knuckle in the rain on soggy streets. They understood their body's biomechanics on a completely visceral level because they were seasoned in incredibly tough environments. So when they finally stepped into Western rings, they simply outsmarted and outclassed their opponents. Now, jump to today, and that expansion has led us to a pretty complex reality. Initially, the sport was blended into existing kickboxing federations, which kind of diluted its unique rules. But recently, promoted heavily through social media and streaming platforms, it has completely transitioned into a multi-billion-dollar global industry. It's huge. But with all this incredible financial success comes a very real rising fear. A lot of people worry that the very essence, the specific techniques, and the profound culture that made Muay Thai so special in the first place are at risk of being watered down just to cater to a mainstream global audience.
So, what does this all mean? Well, it leaves us with one incredibly vital question. As Muay Thai evolves into this multi-billion-dollar global industry, can it preserve the soul of its ancient roots? We've seen it survive battlefields, we've seen it adapt to modern rings, and we've watched it conquer the globe. But finding that balance between modern globalization and the spiritual authenticity of the Wai Kru and the 8 limbs, that's going to be its greatest challenge yet. I really hope this explainer has given you a newfound appreciation for the ultimate striking art. Keep learning, keep questioning, and thanks so much for joining me today.